Secretary. Always a pleasure to see you. You know as well as anyone how populous Florida is and the number of people moving here. So moving, a big issue. That said, what exactly is the Department of Transportation doing when it comes to these moving scams that really seem to have been around for a number of years?
We've been getting a lot of complaints having to do with moving companies that will either refuse to give you your goods without some upcharge that you didn't see happening, or even just hold them hostage. Matter of fact, we received 7,500 complaints last year, and about half of them were in Florida, which is one of the reasons why we're paying extra attention to Florida as we mount this operation to crack down on these companies. See, in order to be licensed as a mover, you need a permit from the Department of Transportation. So we're making sure that we use the powers that we have to protect consumers. If you've ever moved, and most of us have, you know that you're in a vulnerable situation as your possessions are handed over to a company, often to put them in a truck and get them to where you need to be. And that is stressful enough without that company trying to take advantage of you, which is why we're acting to make sure consumers are protected from companies that have tried to do that.
DOT rules, do they have long enough teeth, if you will, that give you the enforcement power? Because I know one thing that the DOT is trying to be more proactive, talking about these sweeps you're going to do. Tell us about the sweeps, but also too, is it going to be enough, or is this something Congress would have to step up?
Well, we have a lot of tools that we can use, and that's exactly why we are mounting this crackdown. Because these movers have to get a license from our department, we see that there is an opportunity to protect consumers using that license as leverage. And based on what we find during this sweep and what the investigators turn up as we send them out to Florida and other places, we are not going to hesitate to remove or withdraw or revoke licenses from these players, as well as partnering with local authorities like state attorneys general, notably including the Attorney General in Florida, to hold these companies accountable using any state laws that come into play. We're always interested in more tools that could be helpful, but what we're seeing right now is with the tools we already have, with the authorities that the law already gives us, we can protect consumers.
I do want to ask you there because we have a Republican Attorney General, and you just mentioned the Florida Attorney General's office. Is there a relationship there, or how is your federal agency working with the state specifically to try to get ahead of these issues?
Yeah, we're going to work with the AG and with any AG, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, because this just makes sense. This is not about politics. This is not about Washington. This is about making sure that when you entrust your possessions to a moving company, the company can't get away with scamming you. And we're welcoming the partnership with, regardless of party lines or anything like that, that we can use to get stuff done. The other thing I want to mention is that we're getting information directly out to consumers. We have a website, www.protectyourmove.gov, which you can use to get more information, including information before you commit to a moving company. Now, if you have a moving company and they have scammed you in some way, we definitely want to hear about it, and there's a way to complain and let us know. But before you're even in that situation, we want to make sure that you can be empowered with tools and information. And that's another area where we also welcome the chance to work with states.
And we'll, of course, share those resources with our viewers as well. I do also want to ask you about another kind of complaint that you and your agency have been receiving. We saw the holiday meltdown with Southwest, Orlando International Airport, 50+ million passengers each year. Where are we at as far as figuring out what happened during the Southwest saga and what your agency is doing to ensure a smooth summer travel season?
Well, we're continuing to investigate the practices of Southwest Airlines, including accusations of unrealistic scheduling. Here's what we've already done. We have gotten enforceable customer service commitments from Southwest and from all of the 10 major airlines that require them to take care of passengers when they get stranded or are in these situations. We know that these protections, which did not exist at this level even 1 year ago are making a big difference for customers being able to get their money back and to get rebooked and other things you need when you get into that situation. For this year, we are carefully watching the numbers. So far, indications that the airlines will perform better than last year, but I'm not taking that to the bank until we see it proven. And we are going to be looking over the shoulders of these airlines to ensure that they take care of passengers and to hold them accountable when they don't.
So finally, to that point, what is your message to the millions who are going to be flying this summer?
Well, my biggest message is to understand your rights. Go to our website. We have an airline consumer dashboard that you can use to see what you are owed airline by airline. Again, my advice is it's best to check this before you book a ticket because you'll see that not all airlines are alike. But even if you've already locked in a ticket, you can use this information to make sure that you do get your money back or do get rebooked or any of the other things that are required. We got check marks and green check marks and red X's, airline by airline, because reading the fine print is, frankly, sometimes unintelligible. We don't want you to have to do that. That's why we're using transparency, getting that information up. And then if you do have a situation where an airline is not doing what they're required to do, we also have a way that you can let us know. We will follow up. We will hold the airlines accountable. And if you are owed money, we will get you your money back.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg with the U.S. Department of Transportation. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be with you.